Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Train Talks podcast. I'm your host, Coletrain. This is the Coletrain interview series, and we are here today with another amazing special guest. I will say a little OG in the Universe Mode community because we got a couple years in. Mr. Dylan Tulin, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. Really, really glad to be here. It's exciting.
Oh yeah, this is very, very exciting. I love it. I love doing these. I'm very, very, very glad you were able to hop on the podcast to dedicate some of your time here for the podcast tonight. But we're gonna get right into it, man. First off, man, talk about why did you start YouTube? So what was your motivation and inclination to start your YouTube channel?
So it started way back when 2K16 was still the game to play, and I honestly I don't know like the exact moment that I decided, okay, I'm just gonna give this a shot. But I had the PS4, and obviously, as you know, you can record and stream everything right from the PS4. So it's never been easier than no better time to start than right now.
Yeah.
When I was really enjoying the work that CM Pulse was doing, Goran Perkins, Dank Ops. So those are kind of like the OG creators for me. And I liked the aspect of building a community, having people behind you, being able to converse with people you've never actually met or may never even talk to in person. So that's really why I got started. And I had a PS4 and I said, let's give it a shot. Let's start with WWE.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So you started the same year I started, 2016, around 2K16. I actually started doing stuff on 17. That's when I brought my universe mode to YouTube. So whenever you started, what drive you to do like a ruthless aggression theme and not a modern day theme?
So if you remember back, I actually tried a modern day custom kind
You
of
did. I
themed
remember
universe
that.
mode. Yeah, I started in 2K16, and then I wasn't enjoying it. And at the time there was obviously, as you know, there's a lot of people doing like a modern era kind of universe mode. And when 2K17 came out, they included the backstage brawls, battling in the crowd. And I was like, this is a great game to actually start getting a little bit more serious about it. And I got a little bit of momentum with it. I think I probably made it a couple months in. That didn't really pan out though. I again just wasn't feeling it. From there, I tried the Superstar Universe mode like Pulse did back in the day. I did do that because I always enjoyed doing those, but same thing, just wasn't feeling it at the time. And then, so I stopped making those for a little while, and then I got my own apartment. And then I had just outside of work, I just had more free time, more time to work on things. And I was like, you know what? I really like the Ruthless Aggression era. I really like the aspect of storytelling. So that's when I decided to give it a shot. And I chose the Ruthless Aggression era specifically because there was at the time there was nobody really doing it. Like I said, aside from the 101 did one video on it, and I was like, well, that was really cool to watch, but no one's actually turning this into an ongoing series. I really liked the storytelling aspect of it. I had a lot of ideas that I thought would be really cool for that time period. So I was like, you know what, let's give this a shot. And what is it now, 4 or 5 years later, and we're still kicking, kind of. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what got me started on the Ruthless Aggression path.
Don't be like kinda. You're still killing it, man. I'm so proud of you. And your stuff. And I remember when you put that tweet out. Because I was on Twitter at the time, and I said, yeah, I love the Ruthless Aggression era because it was one of those eras that I was slowly but surely getting into wrestling from. So whenever you said that you were going to make a full blown universe mode out of it, I said that's unique. That's not been done before. I love how the aspect of you're going through and you're making your own stories. This is the fun part to me. You're making your own stories and your own twist on the years of the Ruthless Aggression era. So like I remember your most recent WrestleMania was that WrestleMania that happened in the Ruthless Aggression era. It was your own spin to it. You had your own match card, had your own main event, etc., which is very, very unique to me because most of the times when people do universe modes, they don't put their own spin on things. They just go okay, so it's a, let's say for example, this is a modern universe mode or whatever, right? So they have their own custom WrestleMania. They put it in the custom spot. They don't say, hey, this is my take on WrestleMania 35 or WrestleMania 36 or 40 or whatever. They put their own take on it. But I like the fact that you are saying this is the ruthless aggression era. This is how I would have done the ruthless aggression era. That is very unique, and I love that so much. I also love the fact that you're using the guys and the looks of what they looked like in the ruthless aggression era. So
Mhm.
I have prime, for example, prime Kurt Angle. Okay, I'm not going to see the modern day Kurt Angle that 2K has in the game. I'm going to see prime. Okay, this is 05, 06 Kurt Angle right here.
Yeah.
That is great, and that's very unique because a lot of people do not do that in their universe modes. And I gotta ask this question because I'm very curious. So with you doing it like that, how does that affect like whenever you getting a new game? How long does it often take you to switch to, like, for example, switching over to WWE 2K24? How long is that taking you right now?
Oh my gosh. I mean, as you could tell, I mean, the game's how long has 2K24 been out? Like three,
But
4 months, maybe,
yeah,
maybe even longer.
yeah, by almost 6 at this point, I think.
Six. Yeah, I still haven't even gotten everything set up for that. Like,
Wow.
and I first like, I really for SummerSlam, I really wanted to start SummerSlam on 2K24.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one I already partnered with a really great arena creator. Maybe you know him as Darth Rebellious. Uh,
Yeah, I like that guy.
he Yeah, he's a real nice guy. We've gone back and forth quite a few times, and this is the third arena that he's made for me, and it was built custom because I needed one with the Buried Alive match that's going to be main eventing SummerSlam. So
Yes.
between that and just not having what I need and not being happy with what was available at the time, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to push this out a little bit. I think we're getting closer. I'm thinking post SummerSlam I'll probably be able to switch over. I think by now there's enough of what I need. Um, there's just a few things I'm not sure about, but it takes a while. Yeah, I'm just constantly scrolling through Twitter, trying to stay up to date on the new cause that are coming out, bugging my guys like Kalua, what's the status? Like constantly bugging them, trying to see when I can get like Kalua's prime Jeff Hardy, because I love his Jeff Hardy work. I love as Orpheus. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but long story short, it's just a constant day by day scrolling through Twitter to see what pops up, what's available, and then just kind of waiting it out by then, to see, kind of keeping track of my roster to make sure I have everything.
Yeah, I felt that because I have like the same thing with the universe modes that I do. It's a lot of custom things, so you have to wait for stuff
Mhm.
to be made with AEW, RH, Collision.
Yeah.
It takes a minute, and I'm still using 23. Still, the next most recent episode of RH, which is coming out soon, that has 23 and 24 in it. Collision is mostly going to be 23 still. So I felt you on like staying on 2023 and using it for months and months and months. And I'm pretty sure a lot of creators feel that too, because when these games come out, I'm glad they don't come out in October anymore.
Mhm.
That helps. So I at least can like enjoy 2K24 until like February, and then I gotta really start focusing on making sure I got my funds for 25 because I know it's gonna
Yeah.
come out in March. So I really love that aspect of it. But you as a creator, you feel like you don't have, at least this is what I've been noticing in the last at least 2 or 3 games. I don't have enough time with these games. That's what I feel like. I feel like that when they come out, I get them, but then I gotta wait 3, 4, 5 months for stuff. And by the time I'm starting to get a rhythm in them, they already announced the next title. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
damn. So okay,
Yeah.
now then I have to start all over again. I That's one thing I wish with the 2K games, that you can transfer things over. I really hope that maybe the PS6 or whatever, I don't know, whatever comes out, will go knowing gaming. I don't know what's going on because it always changes every year. Hopefully, the next generation of consoles fixes where you can like transfer data from like a yearly release, and you can put it on that next game, so you don't, so you're basically not looking like you're starting from scratch, because that really is the most, probably, especially for you, because I know you've been like very frustrated about it in our little creators group chat the last few months, about how long it's taking you to make stuff on
Yeah,
these games, and you feel like
yeah,
you're not getting a lot of time from it.
yeah, man. And that's I don't have a lot of regrets with my universe mode series. There's a couple of things I would have done differently, of course, as with
Mm-hmm.
any new creator.
Absolutely.
Um, but one of the biggest regrets that I have is just not getting stuff out quick enough. I would love to get my episodes out as quickly as I did when I, back in 2K19. I think I uploaded 1 or 2 videos a week back
Yeah, I
in,
remember that. You
during
were
the
killing
during the
it.
pandemic. Yeah, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
2K19, it was a different breed of game. It was so easy to put content together. It was so easy to put matches together. And these newer games, that's more than half the battle.
You telling me,
and,
man? Jesus, man.
and then when I mean, I'll sit here for hours trying to get a like a 10 or 15-second back and forth recorded. I'll sit here for hours trying to get that figured out, because I want everything to look clean. I want it to look clean. I want it to sound clean. I want it to feel
Yeah.
natural. But and as you could tell, I usually try to stay pretty. I try to keep my continuity there. So like if I have a retro version of Triple H, if I go to the next game, I have to have a retro version of him. I don't want to skimp out, and I don't want to have these calls that just aren't really up to my standards for my universe mode, because to me presentation is key. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, even though there's a much longer delay in between game releases, I still feel like I don't have time. Like I barely touched 2K24.
Yeah, and I felt that, because I know I was going to talk about that, because I know that you're a big care for presentation, and you're a big care for how things look.
Mm-hmm.
And I, have had that issue too, because the calls that I use, sometimes they're not made in the next game, or
Mm-hmm.
they're not, they don't look that good. So I get, it frustrates me, because I'm like, I need this guy for this story. I need this
Yeah,
girl for this story. And I'm looking, and the calls all suck. So that means
yep,
I have to stay where I'm at
yeah,
until they get the calls that are up to like a decent standard. I don't want to put, a terrible, I don't know, for example, I had to go back and do something for RH, Chris Bay. Um,
yeah,
I I downloaded one. I looked at him, and I downloaded him, and it looked terrible when he was doing the entrance. So
yeah,
I made the entire match, which was a pain, because like you said, these games are hard to record in. So I
yeah,
had a great match that I planned out or whatever. I had to I deleted the whole thing. You know why? Because the call sucked.
yeah,
The call was embarrassing. I said, I am not putting this out. So I waited another week until somebody I found on Twitter sent me son of Chris Bay to me, and I finally got the Chris Bay I liked. So I downloaded them, and then I remade the match again, and that took me another 3 days
yeah,
because of the damn game, because the game was slow. One time I did a take, and then sometimes I try to go and do a spot, and it's so arcadey, sometimes it messes up everything, and then
yeah,
the stupid trading blows don't work half the time. Sometimes when you want to do trading blows, you have it planned out in your head that, okay, it's going to be trading blows. It doesn't work,
yeah. I
and
don't even know
they're
how
just
to.
hitting each other.
Yeah, I don't even know how to engage that. But
Me neither. I still haven't done it.
I've watched. Obviously, as you know, I did commentary for NR23 and his WrestleMania, and then I tried to catch up with Expert SummerSlam recently, because I've
Mhm.
been trying to. I lost a little bit of inspiration, which
Yeah.
is why like a lot of my stuff gets delayed. So to try to help myself back out, I was like, all right, let me go back, take some time and watch what other people are doing. And there was a couple of spots in a couple of the matches. I was like, there's supposed to be trading blows right there, but it didn't work. Like you could pinpoint it, you could see it. It's yeah, and that's another reason why my switchover's been delayed, is because I don't know if I could trust the game enough to hold on to all the created stuff that I need, because
Yeah.
I mean, my universe mode demands a lot of create a superstar, create an arena. It demands a lot of it, so I can't take the risk,
Yeah, you really can't. And with these games still running on a now almost 12-year-old hardware, by the way. See, I'm in the tech industry, so I know that hardware gets outdated within 6 months after it being released. Something brand new is coming out.
Yeah.
So, especially with consoles, and I know the specs that are in the modern consoles, the PS5, Xbox Series games, and then and the PS4, etc. So I'm looking at, and I've done game development in the last year as well. I'm looking at what 2K is doing, and they're making these games for a PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and Xbox One, base Xbox One from 2013, by the way.
Mhm.
This is like nearly 12-year-old hardware. This
Yeah.
is why we don't have the innovation that we need in the WWE 2K games.
And you
I
know what?
want
Like that was fine when and sorry to cut you off, but it was fine for them doing that when it was hard to get these consoles.
yes, I
But
was going
now
to
they're
talk
so
about that.
like I can go to my local Walmart and get either of the new consoles. So now and this is why I really think they dropped the ball with 2K24, because I don't think there was any reason for them not to release on just the current gen game,
Money.
on the current gen. Yeah, because that's
Take
a
two.
lot of that's really it. Yep.
Take Two said that, and 2K24 was their best praising game, and they made a lot of money from that. I listened to the investor calls because it's part of my job. And I listened to the call, and the CEO said that the reason why they made that game on PS4 and Xbox One is because they got over 7 million copies sold.
Yeah.
Just from those old consoles that we complain about, that we say are holding back these games, because it is. I was going to touch on that.
Yeah.
They got 7 million people bought it. So
That's
I
insane.
mean,
That's insane.
if I'm in business, right? Because I'm going into business myself in the future. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, okay, people are buying the PS5 version, they're buying the Series X versions, but I'm still getting 5 to 7 million copies sold on a nearly 12-year-old hardware. I'll
Oh
tell
yeah.
my devs too. Hey, come on, make a PS4 version of this game. It
Yeah.
might be hold back a little bit. It might not function the same. Well, kinda, but money.
Do
That's
you know
why.
what I think would have been a great idea? Because I definitely can understand that from a business perspective too. If you're getting that kind of money, why would you not?
Mm-hmm.
But what I think they should do. Do you remember 2K15? How there was a PS4 version and then a PS3 and Xbox 360 version,
I remember that.
which was like royally downgraded
That
from
was the last. That was the
the
last year I bought a WWE game on my Xbox 360. It was 2K15. The next year
exactly.
I was on 16, because I looked at the graphics and I looked at the gameplay. I'm like, I got 2K14 again, and they're getting the next gen version that looks 10 times better. I don't want an Xbox 360 no more.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
that's what they should.
I told my parents, don't give me anything else for Christmas. I want a PS4, and I got my PS4 that same year.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did too, because I had 2K15 for my PS3, and I was like, this is god awful. Like I mean, and not that it was any better on the PS4, but at least the graphics were cooler. You could do a little
Right.
bit more with it. But like,
Right.
and not only is that going to give them more money, because they're going to get people to buy this old game, they're going to realize they hate it, then they're going to go buy the new console and then buy the game again, because it's not going to be a cross-gen, because it's on a completely different platform at that point.
Marketing geniuses right there, and that's exactly what EA did with Madden. That's what the NBA 2K series did, and Call of Duty did it too. Call of Duty did that same thing. I remember it was it Modern Warfare? Something? No, Advanced Warfare. There it is. Okay, I can think of it. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare did the same thing. I got Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on the Xbox 360, and when I tell you, it was one of the most downgraded and awful Call of Duties I've ever played in my life, because it was on the Xbox 360. They gave me a lazy port, and that was another reason and another motivation why I said I need to give me a PS4. They were smart with it back then. If 2K does that for 25, or they just say screw the PS4, screw the Xbox One, we're only making this for next gen. I bet you people are gonna go get the PS5 because they're not gonna want to miss out on WWE 2K25, the first next gen exclusive only WWE 2K game we have.
Yeah, and that would show them as a brand as looking towards the future, not holding on to that little bit of money that they're, well, not a little bit. To them, it's probably not much, but they're holding on to that money that they're getting every single year. Mm-hmm. And I mean, listen to the community. Everybody on Twitter bashes the game because it's still broken 6 months in.
Mm-hmm. And that's another problem that Universe Mode creators have. They fix these games 6-7 months into the cycle. That gives us like 2-3 months to play of actually decently ported game. Yeah. When we went half this game cycle, because again, it's a yearly cycle, so we don't have that much time. So me and you, creators like us, we already have to wait 6-7 months to even get on the game fully because we have to wait for calls, and we have standards about how we want our calls to look and our arenas to look. So because we care about presentation and care about continuity, so people that care about those things already have to wait half a year to even get on a new game. Then when you get on a new game, there's still bugs and issues that they're still fixing 6-7 months into the cycle. Then they all of a sudden stop patching the game and they focus on the next title. So that only gives me about 4 months to play the game and make content for my fans. Then I have to buy another one the next year. Like,
and if you want to get all that extra stuff, all the extra DLC characters, you're paying $70, $80, $100. It's like, this just ain't worth it, man.
The deluxe edition, $99.99 now. They increased it $20. They have the old collector edition, almost $200, dude. $200 for a video game. I'm sorry. Okay, look, there's been this debate, and I don't know if you're going to get the new GTA game, but people have been saying, man, I'm willing. I hope GTA's base price is $100. Like, really, dog? Like, y'all really gonna tell these people that I'm willing to pay $100 for the standard edition of GTA 6? Like, come on, man. Like, don't do that, because knowing these companies, they're gonna say, okay, GTA 6 is $100 starting price, and then the deluxe edition gonna be $150, and then the collection edition gonna be $300. I can see them doing that.
Oh yeah, and I
don't give them ideas.
And with how long. And I'm not going to say GTA 5 wasn't a great game, because it was. I mean, it still has legs to this day. Like, it's still going strong.
They almost sold 6 million copies in the last quarter this year.
They're doing just fine. Like, so I understand that they put a lot of time and effort into the game series, and that is great. But I don't think anything that you play for, on average, I don't think most people are going to play it for more than 2 hours a day, maybe
2-3 hours. The average American that has
the average American that has a job, a family, they're not going to play for more than a few hours. I don't think you should be charging them $100 for a game. I just don't.
No.
And I could tell you, I'm not paying that much. I'll wait till that shit goes on sale.
See,
like Black Ops 6 is coming out. I still haven't pre-ordered that thing, and I play Call of Duty with my dad almost every Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
I still have not pre-ordered that game because I don't want to spend the money. Because after these last few games, I don't even know if they're worth it anymore. So, like, they really need to, and it's not just, Treyarch and Activision. It's like games all across the board. Gaming companies across the board.
It's the gaming industry as a whole.
They need to dial it back a bit because it's becoming unaffordable to play games.
It is. It's becoming unaffordable, and like, as I start to get into adulthood fully, and I'll be there probably next year technically. So, like, when I'm looking at this, and I'm like looking at the pricing of gaming and what they're doing with these games, I'm like, I'm not going to just spend $70 willingly for a broken product, a half-baked product, a product that that's not valuing my time and money anymore. I'm not a kid no more. Like, I don't have infinite amount of time to just sit there and saddle through these broken games anymore. The last Call of Duty I bought, I'll be honest with you, probably was Modern Warfare 2019.
which was
And
the one of the last times they had a good Call of Duty game.
yeah, that was the last one I bought. And I really I enjoyed it, but I only played it for like 2 months.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and that's the thing too with a lot of the games these days. They're not giving them, the longevity of
No,
what they used to do. I mean, I just feel like an old man talking about the good old days of playing video games. But
nah,
GTA
man,
Vice City, I played that for years.
years. Still
SmackDown,
go
Here
back
Comes
and
the
play it.
Pain. Yeah, still go back and play Here Comes the Pain. I love
Mhm.
playing through the old Call of Duty campaigns. They had and still have the legs to go forward. Part of that nowadays is probably nostalgia.
Yeah,
Nostalgia
because
is a powerful thing,
that's our
but
generation. So
mhm. but they did there was something special about the gaming industry then, and now nowadays it feels like it becomes more stressful to be a gamer.
yeah, and that's the crazy part because we were still spending what $60 on these games, but we were now it's 70 now. It's $10 more
Mhm.
for on average a base game is $70 now across the market. If you're buying for a PS5 or Xbox Series X, you're paying $70. Now, if you're
Mhm.
still buying the PS4 version, you're still paying 65.
Yeah,
But the games they were still, you could say, expensive. They but you got a more of a bang for your buck back then than you do now.
oh
The
yeah,
amount of care that they had in those games, those older Call of Duties for sure. I remember like putting in like the original Modern Warfare trilogy. I played those for years, man.
oh hell
I
yeah, those
I,
are
I
one
love
of
the
the
Call of
best
Duty.
series out there. Yeah,
Yeah, Call of Duty was the thing. That's all we talked about at school. It was the three things that were big back then as a child for me. And I'm Gen Z, so to keep this in
Mhm.
mind: Call of Duty, GTA, and football, Madden.
Yeah,
That was what that was. If you owned those games, you were the stuff. Okay,
yeah,
everybody wanted to talk to you. Everybody wanted to be hang around you because they thought that you were the stuff back then. Because the games were great. They
hmm
were fun to play. Your friends wanted to play with you. You made friends from those games. I still have lifelong friends connecting with those three series. I have friends that I still talk to this day because of those games. And
yeah.
they're complaining about, okay, I'll be like, hey, you want to boot up a new Madden game? They're like, I don't play Madden no more because it's not the same no more. Or they'd
No,
be like, I haven't played Call of Duty in years. I'm like, yeah, me too, man. I can't remember the last one I bought.
yeah,
I looked at Black Ops 6 and I was like, okay, I'm interested in it, but it's like their fault. The more I do research and more I look at the marketing, I'm like, they're trying to Activision doing the same thing that made me turn off from them. It started in 2020.
yeah,
That when I just stopped buying Call of Duty for you. I haven't bought Call of Duty in like 5 years at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, they're moving so far towards microtransactions
Mm-hmm.
over legitimate DLC packs, and it's just it's frustrating because like if you want to, and not it's not just the developers too, it's the other players, especially in the Call of Duty market. There's a lot of people that get joy out of hacking or enabling some kind of cheats for themselves, or they're going to spend thousands of dollars on this new blueprint that it makes them like untouchable, and you're just an
Mm-hmm.
average gamer wanting to have a nice night, have a couple drinks, and have a good night on a Friday, and you can't because you have to sweat your dick off just to just to keep up with these people. And I say that because I am that person. I like if
Yeah,
I want to enjoy a night of gaming, I have to sweat my balls off to try to beat these players.
it's the most wild thing. And if you guys don't know Dylan, he outside of universe mode and making that content, he's a Call of Duty YouTuber. So he has the insights of the Call of Duty series that I don't have. Because again, I haven't touched these games in 5 years, but I'm just going off of what I remember, the reasons why I stopped playing them. And the biggest reason I stopped playing them is I felt like the campaigns were getting more lazier and lazier, which I
Yep.
was in tune, right? Especially after last year's disastrous 4-hour campaign for Modern Warfare 3 I heard about.
Jesus. Yeah.
I thought that it was getting the microtransactions were getting too much. Like it felt like Call of Duty was getting greedier and greedier to me. And here's me. How I feel is unless it's DLC, I'm not giving these companies extra money. I paid $60 or $70 for this base game, and you're not giving me DLC, then I ain't paying no extra. I still haven't gotten the 2K24 DLC. I haven't. I looked at the packs and I'm like, is this seriously worth an extra $30? You want me to pay an extra $30 off the top of the 70 I already bought for that product that you're selling me? Like, come on, man. No.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for like some of the characters are what I need in my universe mode, I wouldn't have bought the damn thing either.
No.
and that's the way it was in 2K23 too. I was like, man, I don't want to spend this money on these characters.
I
need them for my fucking series. I was like,
that's the only thing. Like, I'm like, Dylan, I had this conversation with J&W Boss and J Dog almost 2-3 months ago. We was talking about these games, and they asked me, they said, man, Cole, if you wasn't doing YouTube, would you even like buy these games on day one? I flat out said, if I didn't have this YouTube channel and I didn't know y'all, I would not buy WWE 2K day one.
Yeah, me neither.
I would have gotten 2K24 for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. And like 6 months in, they start offering discounts on the thing. So
yeah, because people stop playing them. These games die unless you make content on them. If you're the average player, you stop playing WWE. I promise you, most of the average players stop playing WWE 2K24 by June, July.
Mm-hmm.
They go on to something else.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and I'm right there with you. Like, it's even with the Call of Duty stuff, my because I'm not usually the one to, if I'm not playing with somebody, I usually don't even boot up Call of Duty. Like, and
by yourself.
Yeah, my dad he'll reach out to me on a Friday or Saturday, ask me if I want to hop on, and it's like an internal battle. It's like, man, no, I don't want to. I don't want to boot up this damn game, but I don't see my dad. So all right. I guess we'll play some games, spend some time with my dad, and then the whole time we're both bitching because we're getting our asses handed to us. Like, like that's all it is. And I was like, I really want to put together this, this SummerSlam pay-per-view. Like, God damn it, that means I have to boot up 2K23 and try to put these damn matches together. And then it's like another internal battle. It's like, when do the internal battles stop?
I think I have the same problem, man. Like, I'd be like, okay, I have to boot up 23 for this match, and then okay, but maybe I can do this in 24. So let me go switch to 24. It's like I'm using two games because I can't fully move over to one of them because they don't have the people I need. So I have to go back to the other game that I'm starting to despise to try to come up with something that makes sense and fits the standard that we have here. And it's like an internal battle. Like, I don't want to record today. So what I'll be doing is now I don't record. I just be like, okay, I'm just not going to record. I'm gonna go play my PS5. I'm gonna see what's on there. I'm gonna play something on there. I can't force myself to do these games anymore because if I do that, I'm gonna burn myself out, and I don't want to do that because I don't want it to be on me. The reason why, it takes a year to get something out because I'm burnt out and I don't want to play these games at all. Because if I get to that point again, then I have enough avenue. And I do enough stuff now where I can just fully leave these games alone. That's what Gresh has done. Gresh stopped Universe Mode, and I work for Gresh. And we had multiple conversations about it. And I tried to convince him to continue. But he said that it was affecting him mentally and physically. He had to stop because it wasn't fun anymore. He wasn't having fun with the content, and a part of YouTube pays his bills. It's some of his income outside of what he does in real life. So, he had no choice. Like that's how I really feel about these games now, is that I don't want to be like that. I don't want to leave this community because, again, I love doing what I do. But like you were talking about, these games make it so hard to do what you do. And when you said that, oh my God, man, it's taking me a few months to make SummerSlam. That's how I felt when we were making WrestleMania, because
Yeah.
The games. It wasn't us, it was the games themselves that made it so difficult for us to get the qualities that we wanted so people can enjoy the product that we're putting out. And at the end of the day, you are enjoying the product that you're putting out as well.
Yeah, well, and with back to your, producing your WrestleMania, that wasn't just you, right? Like that, you have a team behind you, right?
Yeah. So with WrestleMania, I had to bring in people because if I did that on my own, you probably still wouldn't have seen it.
Right.
That's how bad these games are. So like I had back in 2020, I had to find other people to do this stuff with because I realized that I couldn't do this alone anymore
Mhm.
because it was mentally and physically draining me. So I invested in putting money aside that I because people, my friends say I have 4 jobs, but it's like I call it side hustles because I'm not full-time employed with anybody. Or everything
Yeah.
I do is part-time work because I'm a college student. I'm working towards full-time employment for next year, but they say I have 4 jobs. That's the inside joke in my friend group. So I worked my tail off to create 4 streams of income so I can be able to pay people to make my thumbnails, to edit for me, to help me with matches and produce content. And sometimes I bring in people for commentary, and sometimes people want fees for that. They actually sometimes they want
Really?
a little small fee, or they want a shout out. I got to give them a shout out on something,
Huh.
or something like that. So um, I did that so so I wouldn't leave. Basically, I wouldn't leave YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm so glad I did that because I couldn't imagine making all this by myself like I was doing in 2019 because I was getting slowly burnt out from the games in 2019. Actually, when that 2K20 came out, it almost ruined me. Uh,
Yeah.
but
That game ruined us. Yeah. Let's not
yeah,
think about that game.
yeah. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That was a time, but yeah. So that's the reason why CTP was really made into what it is, and that's because of burnout and I not wanting to leave YouTube. So like when I see people doing this by themselves, you by yourself, I have full respect for you guys and I cheer you on and I try to come on and do commentary for you guys. I try to come on and help as best as I can because I was in your shoes before and I feel the frustrations. I feel that unlike how I can do, if I don't want to do something, I can ask, I can see if expert wants to do it, or I can see if
Yeah.
J&W boss wants to do it. Some of y'all don't have that luxury that I have. Like
Yeah.
y'all have to be like, y'all gotta get out the mud, y'all gotta do it yourself because everybody's style's different. Personally, I don't care about styling on my shows. If it's good, it's good at this point.
Yeah.
That's where I am in life. And my audience don't care about style that much neither. Nobody asks me. They be like, oh, this is a great match. I enjoyed this show. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people care about presentation and style where they can't really bring in somebody to do stuff like that. I don't give 2 damns no more because I used to, but I don't care no more because I realized that, if the quality is good and I'm mentally good up here, that's all that really matters to me.
Yeah.
So that's why solo creators, I have so much respect for them because I get it. I get it, man. I'm like, man, I haven't posted in 3 months. I haven't posted in 4 months. I used to be like that. I really, really used to be like that. It was frustrating me when I couldn't get content out when I thought I could get content out. These days, I'll be like happy when I get something out because of how my life is right now and what all the stuff I'm doing. It
Mhm.
it drives me and it keeps me going to continue to make content for my audience and for my channel because I'm doing it out of love now. It's not out of necessities.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you're a family man now, you have wife and all that stuff. So you're at a different point in life than I am because I haven't got to that point yet. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I get to that point in the near future. But that's not
Changes
something
though.
that's not something I'm doing right now. So
Yeah.
talk about like with doing YouTube with having a family. Like, so how do you really balance that
Man,
that
I'm
aspect of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am beyond blessed for my fiance and her son. So if you remember back when 2K19 and I was right before WrestleMania, like
Yeah,
literally I got the last SmackDown before WrestleMania produced, and then the content just stopped
yeah, I
like
remember
out
that.
of nowhere. And I know people were not happy about that because I was riding a wave at that point. That was when I met my fiance. That was when I
Oh,
met her,
wow.
and I was like, okay, I'm meeting this woman. Um, she's got a son. I I work full time. I'm not going to devote my life to creating this content because I need to focus on what's now important to me, which is this other person in my life and her child. So I stopped for that reason, um, and I didn't tell her about it. Like all she knew is that I had a gaming setup in my office, but she didn't know what it was actually for. She didn't know it was a content creating office. She thought it was a gaming setup. So when she moved in, I took all that stuff down, cleaned out that office, turned it into her son's room, and then I believe about 6 months to a year into it, which was right before 2K22 came out. Um, she started hearing me talking about how I used to make content. She found my YouTube channel, and then she started just hearing me more and more talk about how I enjoyed doing it and how I enjoyed the community that I had when I left.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me. I came home from work one day. I work in car sales. I've done that since 2018. I did take 2 year stint away from it to go into the tech world on the cold calling role, which I did not enjoy. But regardless, when I was still in car sales before I left, came home from work one day and my office was set back up. And she was like, "You talk about how much you enjoy doing this. You
Oh,
enjoy the
wow.
people that you work with in this community. Go do it." And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten started on YouTube again. I would have walked away from it completely.
Wow. I never knew all that. Now I knew that you talked about whenever you met her and stuff around that time. That's one of the reasons why you left for a bit. I never knew that she was one of the reasons why you actually came back to YouTube. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that was all her. I came from home. I came home
Wow.
from work one day, and she set my whole thing up.
All
And
right. Yeah, and so she was one of the reasons why you came back,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Okay.
She said you enjoy doing it, so go do it. And I was like, okay, this stuff takes a lot of time away, and she was like, yeah, if it what makes you happy, then I want you to do it. So in terms of to answer your question, in terms of balancing it out, it's my work and my family is first. That's why we're doing this podcast so late, because I was making sure that stuff was taken care of around the house for when she got home. um, Her son's in bed, she's in bed. This is the time for me to do it. So it's a
Hey,
matter of
yeah.
finding the balances when I have the time. Sometimes, like you said, when you're feeling burnt out or you just don't want to make a video, you just don't. And that's where I'm at too. I mean, I'll usually get stressed out if I do that for too long. But if I come home from work and I'm like, man, my brain is fried. I just can't do it. I just I don't. I just go to bed at that point. And that's kind of the balance that I found, because this isn't a main source of income. I would love for it to get to that point, but I'm not expecting it. So for the time being, I'm going to enjoy the life that I have. And if it's not in the cards for me to make a video one day, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I know that since she's a fiance now, y'all going to be starting to plan a wedding and stuff, and that takes a lot of time and that takes a lot of money, and especially like this is not. I would say a lot of people have asked me like, could this potentially be a main source of income? I would never say it will be the majority of my income. Probably won't ever be. Could it be
Mhm.
something that I could say, oh, this is one of my side hustles. This is one of the things that bring in a couple $100 a month or something. Yes, but I don't fully expect it, especially like the way that the universe mode and that type of content is. It doesn't really blow up that fast.
Yeah, it's a slow
on the
burn.
internet. It is a very, very slow burn. It takes years and years and years to build a sustainable audience to say that, hey, I can like pay all my bills from this channel. And I mean, it also means that you'll have to constantly do this every single day. And I don't
Mhm.
think that's, to me, I always tell people, please have a balance. I don't think that you should absolutely not do this fully full time. Have a life, maybe, not, I know some people don't want to work anymore because that's a thing. People don't want to
Yeah,
go work for no boss. They would rather work for themselves. But
yeah.
while that's fine, still have a balance when you do that stuff, because you don't want to burn yourself out, or because what if you say I don't want to do this anymore, then you have no income at that point because you're not making no
Yeah,
money from it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
That's the
And
scary
like,
part for me.
yeah, and like you too, and that's why like I'm not in a hurry to blow up. Would it be great? Absolutely, but that's
Oh yeah.
also why, I take the time to really, make the stuff that I enjoy, produce the content, make the graphics that meet my standards. Because right now it's not a sustainable income. It's just like, oh hey, I got a couple $100 from YouTube. That's great. I'll throw it as something that I have to pay. That's what it is at this point. I
no,
have stuff to pay. I'll just throw it at that.
no, 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 no,
Or
no. Look, that's how I'll be when I get my little check. I'll be like, oh, that can go to vacations. Oh, I need to pay this for school. There you go.
yeah, yeah, and that's what it's been for me. It's like, oh hey, I got $100. That means, well, one, it means two things. One, my videos are doing pretty good, so that means I'm on the right track. And two, I got a little extra money I could throw at a bill, or I can get an extra case of beer that month. I don't know, something. But like,
Shoot, in this economy, you might probably can't get a little extra case of beer. We might need more than $100 at this point.
I've been going after the cheap stuff lately.
You got
Yeah.
to, man. I've had to cut some stuff out. Like I haven't really, I'm big on wearing hygiene stuff. People know me. I'm very big on hygiene. I've had to cut out getting certain colognes because of the economy.
Oh yeah, no, I go to TJ Maxx for that stuff, man. You get that. You can get some pretty good stuff pretty cheap there.
Yeah,
I'm not I'm not about to go to Walmart and buy Axe. Like I'm not a 10-year-old in fifth grade, but I will go to TJ Maxx and find something that smells pretty nice and
yeah.
go that route. But like
That's what I'm doing. You got to catch the sales these days, man.
yeah, with clothes, I've become a minimalist. Like I've never really cared, but nowadays it's like, where can I get the cheapest shirt, that fits and is comfortable? Because 90% of the time I'm in a work shirt and dress pants, so like I'm not going to be wearing this stuff outside of the house usually. So
Yeah.
now it's like, where can I cut some money out?
Yeah, and I mean, like, you're not looking for anybody anymore. You have a fiance. You're about to get married, so it's not like you
Mhm.
have to dress to impress anymore, because
Yeah,
you're pretty much you're pretty much good. So
yeah.
like, I don't blame you for going to, oh, this shirt's 30% off. I'm gonna pick it up. If it
Oh
fits
yeah.
me, let's go. I'm doing that now because a lot of people don't notice, is because the people that have a lot of money are the people that build wealth and build income like that. They wear the cheapest things and buy the
Just look at
cheapest
Adam
things.
Sandler. Yeah, just look at Adam Sandler. He still looks like he shops at the clearance aisle at Walmart.
I don't blame them.
But
I don't blame them. That's how you save your
he's
money.
got money. Yeah.
You,
Yeah, exactly.
not everything you need to buy needs to be the most up to date thing out there.
And I will say, like, in terms of for the people that know me, I'm a pretty frugal person in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I've always been known for, I like the one thing that people have known me for wanting to have something nice of is my ride, like the vehicle, my vehicles. So especially working in a car dealership, man, it's a blessing and a curse, because you can always make sure you're getting a good deal on a car.
Yeah.
But you're also around new cars so often that you always want the new car. Like
Yes.
right now, I've had in terms of new cars, within 6 months of starting in the car industry, I got a 2018 Chrysler 300, which is like a luxury style of a Dodge Charger, which I've had 3 Dodge Chargers. I went from a 300 to a brand new pickup truck, a brand new Ram 1500, and then
Wow.
I went to like a year and a half later, I went to a 2022 Ram 1500 that I leased. I then got a second vehicle when I met my fiance, so we could have two rides. A 2015 Charger because I wanted another Charger.
Mm-hmm.
Traded that in, and now I have a 2022 Dodge Challenger, the Go
Yeah, so
Man
I
Go
see.
Orange.
I see.
Yeah, and I just my truck lease was up, and I just got my fiance into a Jeep Wrangler, like brand new Jeep Wrangler. So
Wow,
like
man.
I've never skimped out on
The
having nice
cars,
vehicles. Yeah,
car
which
aspect.
for me, I've always enjoyed having, like the Chargers and the Challengers. I've always enjoyed the product. They're
Mm-hmm.
customizable. You can make them into your own style. So that's the one thing I've never skimped out on. Aside from that, I cheap, cheap clothes, cheap cologne, cheap shoes. I buy Converse. Like they're not that expensive, and I like Converse.
The
Um,
Converse is a very comfortable shoe.
yeah. Like I came from the mindset of I don't need a lot to be happy. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably when in the future I'll probably be big on like making sure my tech stuff is good because I'm working in tech. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna be that might my most of my money probably gonna be okay. I need a new laptop or I'm gonna need to build me a PC
Hmm.
or this mic is getting a little old for me. Let me go get me a new mic so I can improve my mic quality or headphones. I go through headphones and I'd be like, okay, I don't like this headphones anymore. I'm going to buy me some new ones, and I go spend $34 on headphones. Look, people be like, "Why are you spending so much on your tech stuff?" Because that's what I'm passionate about. So, like, how
Yeah.
you're passionate about vehicles, I'm passionate about tech,
Yeah.
and I'm
Exactly.
probably going to be the same way with my cars too. Um, I haven't. I need a new car. I'm looking to buy a new car very, very soon. So I'm going to make sure that it's up to my standards of what I want to ride in, make
Hmm.
sure it has the features that I want to pay. And if I have to pay an extra $100, $200 a note, I'll that's worth it to me because I have to drive it every day. It's going to be driven.
Exactly. And
So that's
and
my
car.
mindset on that. So I want the best of
Yeah.
everything tech wise, but as when it comes to clothes, yes, I have my favorite brands, but I don't visit them
It's
often, you know.
exactly like I enjoy. My fiance knows this. My family knows this. I enjoy the Project Rock clothing line. I find
Mhm.
it's comfortable. But you're not going to watch me walk into Dick's and buy anything from them because Dick's to me their stuff is too expensive. I'll wait
Yeah.
until they either put them on clearance, or I'll go into TJ Maxx or Marshalls because you might find some good Project Rock stuff at TJ Maxx and Marshalls.
I'm not ashamed to say that I was a JC kid at one point.
JC Penney, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not ashamed. I got some of my polo clothes I bought. I got them at
They
Walmart.
got
People
good
people
brands
be
there.
people be thinking I got them polo shirts from the polo uh,
Like Ralph.
whatever store itself. No,
Yeah,
that came from Walmart. I got that
yeah,
for $25. Okay.
exactly.
What I say about clothes is you can make anything work,
Hmm.
and you can find your style, find what you like, and you can dress to impress. And people might have no idea where that stuff came from. I've seen somebody had a great fit, and they got it all from Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Walmart, and they spent $22 on that fit. I
Yep.
mean, so I say a lot of things in life is what you make of it. And like you said, it doesn't take that much to make me happy. I like my technology. I like playing video games and I like to travel.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the main things I like to do in life and spend time with my family. And hopefully whenever I create my own family, I will be raising my kids and being with my wife in the future. That that's the life that I want.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's why it's easy for me to say money because I know that it's always good to have money in your pocket just for emergencies because life gonna throw some things at you. Had to get a new
All the
tire
time.
recently for my car because life threw something at me.
Yeah.
Had to invest in my car, fix my car up last winter because life threw things at me. But
Yep.
I had the capital and income because I didn't say, no, let me go to the club this weekend or I'm going to bar. You give me a few
Yeah.
drinks. No, I
Yeah.
realized that I need that money for emergencies. I'm not saying that I don't go party, but how I party is on vacations. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
where I have my fun. That's where I say, okay, I'm going to get me a drink here. I'm going to go party it up here. When I'm at a destination or I'm on a cruise or I'm out of state or something, and I say, okay, let's have fun in life, because I absolutely do have fun in life, but I do it marginally to make sure I still have money in my pocket, and I do everything strategically to make sure that I'm happy and I'm safe and I'm secure. And that's the best way to be. So, like what Dylan said, more of the story is, yeah, it's great to have nice things, but not everything needs to be the best of the best, because I've talked to wealthy people before, and you'll be shocked from the wealthy people. I talk to people that make $500,000 a year to almost they make $1 million a month. These are people I know, and they tell me, and when they tell me the things that they buy from Walmart, I'll be shocked. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, you bringing home $5,000 a week. Why are you in Walmart? He was
Right.
like, that's how you save money.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's really what it is too. And I'm like you too. Like the older I've gotten, and I have, being with a family, I have my own place. There's a lot of bigger bills that kind of come my way. Like
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know electric bill. I just had to replace a hot water heater for my place last year.
That's adulting right there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's I would rather make sure that my money goes to the things that I or my family needs, or that we need to keep the roof over our heads, rather
Mm-hmm.
than going out. Like, to me, a good time is not going out to a bar. I don't enjoy bars. People
I
don't
don't.
know. People
I
might not
don't
know this
drink
about
in
me.
public. I don't do that.
I'm an introvert, so even though I work in a job where I'm in the customer, at a customer facing job for 50
Mhm.
hours a week. When I'm outside of work, I don't enjoy being around people. So like I will a good time for me is having a drink at home, not at a loud crowded bar. I'll go
Man,
to a dive bar. It's quiet. If I do go to a bar, it's a dive bar. Like, there's not a lot of people. There's music. There's
man.
a pool a pool table. Like, that's a good time at a bar. But aside from that, I can have fun, just as much fun at home.
Oh yeah. See, I'm half introvert, half extrovert, so I'm 50-50. A good time to me, I just had this on Sunday, is I my mom went to the daiquiri shop or whatever. She wanted daiquiri. I drank me a daiquiri. I played some music, and I played the game on Sunday
Mhm.
night. That's what I did. That was my Sunday night. I didn't go to no club. I'm not a club person. The
Yeah.
last time I was in the club was when I was, like I said, I do that stuff on vacation because that's when
Mhm.
money's saved up, where I'm able to just say, okay, I can go in the club for one or two nights on this cruise. That's the last time. That's the last time I'm in the club. But
Yeah.
you probably won't catch me in the club for the rest of the year. Probably, I probably won't hit up a club for the rest of the year. That's not the type of person I am. And I don't blame you for working 50 hours a week. I would want to deal with people after that point anyway. I want my weekends to myself. I want to be with my family at that point and be away from people. I don't blame you for 50 hours a week. I got to work a job like that. That's insane. Wow. That's wild. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I
I'm 20.
completely feel
Man, I'm
that, man.
25 years old. I've never been to a club, and I'm okay with that.
You let me tell you something, man. You ain't missing out.
Yeah.
I've been on one on a boat. I have not been
I
on
do
one on
want
land.
a cruise, though. I do want to go on a cruise.
Absolutely. I think
That is
that,
actually that's what I've been looking into, because my fiance, she's never been on one. She's afraid of boat rides, so I was like, all right, time to step out of your comfort zone. We might be looking at a cruise.
yes, I highly encourage anybody, if you can deal with the water or whatever, take your cruise, man. It's one of the best vacations that you'll ever take. Let me tell you why. You, and I always get this perspective. You're spending, okay, so it's gonna be both of y'all, right? So you and your fiance go, and let's say y'all take her son, right? So that's
Mhm.
three people in the room. You know, let's say you take the son like when he's a little bit older enough and he could probably put something on the vacation. Then you're splitting that 3 ways for 1 room, right?
Yeah.
So if y'all do that, it's 2 beds. The son has a bed, you and the fiance in the other bed. So maybe the room might be, let's say y'all get like an interior room. You're probably gonna be spending about maybe like $1,400, but that's divided by 3.
Mhm.
Once you pay for all that, everything else is optional. So let's say you take a Carnival cruise. I took a Carnival cruise for my best friend's graduation cruise. For my room, I spent $1,200. That was just for the room. And also it was a little bit higher because we went during hurricane season down here. Well, in the South, I'm sure you heard hurricanes before. So they make cruises a little bit more expensive because you're going through a hurricane season. So in case something possibly happens, they want to make sure they get their money. So that was after I paid for the vacation. Everything else was optional. Like we did 2 excursions. I spent $437 on that. So in total, for that entire vacation that I went to Mexico for, I only spent about $1,600 total for that one vacation. It was about 5 days. I went to Mexico for $1,600. In comparison, if I wanted to go to Cozumel, Mexico by flight to and from the United States, I'm going to spend about in US dollars about $2,500, $2,700. Especially going around this time period, it is summertime. It's during hurricane season, so I'm gonna spend about $2,700. I saved over $1,000 going by boat, and I probably had a better time than probably going to Cozumel by flight.
Oh
It's
yeah,
having to stay at a hotel room. If that's another extra $300 to $400.
Yeah, no, definitely. Cruise definitely. Going on a boat's definitely the way to go. You can at least enjoy yourself on the way there. I mean, what are you going to do on the flight? Sleep.
You're going to sleep. So I can enjoy myself on a boat where most of the food items, besides a few things, which they let you know that they charge you for. Okay, most of the food on that boat, you pay for that whenever you book the cruise and put payments down. Then you could do a payment plan for it too. So you don't have to pay that $1,300-$1,400 because they know people don't have that like sitting around, right? You pay so much per month. You could put yourself on a payment plan and say, I'm gonna just throw $200 a month and make a payment on my cruise. You got they give you about 6 to 9 months to pay for it, depending on when you book it. You have about 6 months minimum. I mean, come on, man. The average reasonable adult can save 6 months of like for payments, right? To make some. I mean, you pay your bills every month, so you know you can save some type of money. You know, as long as you're not like reckless with your money, it's pretty easy to pay for those things. And you travel outside of the country on by boat for that amount of money. I say it's absolutely worth it. I say anybody that's looking to go out the country and like they want to go to Hawaii, but they don't want to fly, take a cruise. You want to go to Jamaica, take a cruise. The cruising could get you there, and you save thousands of dollars going by cruise rather than going by flight and spending all your money like that. It gives you a bang for your buck. So I really, really think that you should like really, really invest in that. I think that will be. I don't want to throw them like this at it, but hey, that would be a great honeymoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just throwing it out there. But yeah, I completely felt that. Another thing I want to touch on. So you said you do you sell cars or whatever. Is this going to be something that you're just going to be doing long term, like until you retire? You're just going to sell cars, or are you looking possibly into doing something else, job wise?
I've had quite a few customers tell me I could expand outward from my experience in car sales. Like I moved into the tech sales role, but I liked the company that I worked for. I liked what I did there. The issue that I had wasn't with the job, it was with the leadership. Leadership plays a massive role in your work life experience.
Absolutely.
And the leadership that I had before I left the car industry the first time. I left because of leadership. So
Mhm.
there's because in terms of I do enjoy cars. I think they're fun to talk about. Like technology, they're changing all the time. People always need it, just like people always need technology. So, at least in this day and age, they do, or at least they think
Yeah.
they do. So no matter where you go, you will always see cars. So like
Yeah.
it's an industry that's never going to go away. You
No.
know, I am an assistant sales manager, so I'm in a management role, learning the ropes, learning how to desk deals, work with finance companies. I've been in that role before. That's why when I came back, I got pushed into that role again. Um, so I do have aspirations of getting to the like desking management role, like full blown management role, to maybe running a dealership myself. Um, but am I open to other opportunities? Always, because at the end of the day, it's about providing for my family. At this point, I've become less selfish with where I work, and it's more about can I provide for my family? That's first and foremost. After that, it's what's my mental health like, during
Yeah.
this role. Because
I think.
in that tech job I had, I was ready to bounce about 6 months in. But
Wow.
it was I was working remotely. It was convenient for family, and it
Hmm.
was convenient for me. Salary was a good base salary. Like I was like I'll stick it out, see if I can move past the you know the toxic environment. See if I can move past it and just keep your head down to your job, and that's that. Um,
Yeah. I felt that with a lot of things within the tech industry because that's the field that I'm in as well. You have to like really find your culture and
mhm,
find that company that's for you because some of these companies they just really just don't care. They'll just overwork you, and yeah, the money's good, but you got to make sure that you're good up here because if you're not good up here, then whatever you're making and it ain't gonna work at home because it's gonna start to affect your home life too. So you
exactly.
don't really want that to happen. I think that you have a very very great outlook on it. You say you're open to any opportunities. I think that you'll be great in tech too. Just gotta hopefully you can find that right company for you because I think that you have a good smart business mind to work in tech, especially with you in sales. So you
Mhm.
know how to like talk to people, you know how to get things done, and you know how to get deals done, which is very, very important in tech because tech is a ever revolving place. And in sales, you have to learn quick. Tech is the
Yeah,
same thing. You have to learn quick because tech changes every year. So I'm really, really glad that you're really open and you have a very open-minded outlook on things because that's very very important because that means you'll never get stagnant and
exactly.
you know and the older you get that's how you is able to maintain and sustain the quality of your life is not being stagnant where you're at
Yeah,
most recently my mother she's changed jobs changed positions
mhm,
and left the job that she was at because it was affecting her up here. She went now she's somewhere else that she's pretty happy and she's still getting paid and she's still providing for us. So it was a win-win for her. And I think that everybody needs to have that mindset that hey, you know, if this company's not doing it for you, find you somewhere where the culture is good, where you can still be mentally and physically good to provide for your family or to provide for yourself if you're alone. I don't know your situation. You know,
yeah,
just to have a good quality of life that you specifically are looking for because everybody's quality of life and standards are different.
mhm,
I know people that have different outlooks on what they want in life and they're content with where they're at. Some people want way more than where they're at. It just depends on the type of person and depends on really, I say it really depends on your work ethic.
yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And I feel like Dylan, you have a very, very great work ethic. So you never went to any college or whatever thing, right? You just went right into sales, like
So I I graduated from high school in 2017. I
yeah.
was living. My parents have been separated since I was like 9 or 10 years old. They're divorced. My dad's remarried. My mom's been remarried. They're both living their lives. But when I graduated, I was still living with her, and I did sign up for a community college. I went for 2 days, and I was on my way back home for on that second day. I'm like, what am I doing? Like I don't know what I'm here for. I have no plans to use it. I'm going for general studies. This isn't going to get me anything. So
Oh yeah, you were wasting your time.
yeah, I was like, this isn't worth it. So I was like, as soon as I realized I wasn't going to go to college, I moved out of my mom's house, got my own place, and then I switched. I was a pizza delivery guy at the time, part time. I switched to full time, got my own place, and moved in within a week after I decided that I wasn't going to college. Like there was no delay in that, and I've been working full time ever since. I've tried different things, so I did the pizza delivery thing, which was actually when I started my universe mode the first time, Ruthless Aggression. And then an opportunity came up where my dad was working for this traveling construction company. And I said, okay, this is new. I'm okay doing manual labor. I've been lifting weights for a long time. Like I'm okay with manual labor. And I was made promises of really good money and the ability to travel, which at the time I was single, no animals, nothing to hold me accountable.
Hold you back. Yeah.
So it's like I'm good with that. I did that. I realized that construction, you only make money when the weather is nice, which the year that I did, the weather was not nice at all. So the money wasn't where I wanted it to be. And and I realized traveling isn't enjoyable if you're staying in a hotel and you can't do anything because you're tired from work. That's not traveling. That's not it. Exactly. Like I went to North Carolina, I went to Vermont, I went to Buffalo, I went like right on the border of Canada and Vermont. I went to a few different areas, and I never got to enjoy any of it, and it wasn't enjoyable. So but my dad got me the opportunity, so I was like, I'll stick it out. They work on a season by season thing, so it's usually up until the wintertime. Once that was over, I started looking at something else. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. So I was scrolling through, surprisingly enough, found it on Indeed, and I saw a sales consultant opportunity open at a Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, which anybody that knows me, they know that I like the Chrysler Dodge Jeep brand. I was like, well, I like the brand. I think I could talk to people, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So screw it. Let's see if I can get an interview here. I was living in Cortland. The job was in Ithaca, which is about, on a good day, it's a 45-minute trip. Sometimes it could take an hour just to get out of Ithaca. I don't like Ithaca, because I almost looked at it like kind of like a Syracuse in my area, which is like this very congested, very large, lot of people, really busy. Just it's not my cup of tea. Not from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Like so much so that even though it was only 45 minutes away from me, I had to use my GPS to find the dealership because I had no idea where I was going. And for a few weeks, I was using my GPS to get to and from work. But I started there 5 days before Christmas, and then I stayed at the same store until September of 22. And I thought loyalty is what would give you more opportunity. And it wasn't. It was, at least in my situation, it wasn't loyalty that gave. I wanted, and I made it very clear that I wanted to do whatever it took to take that next step in my career. And if I'm not at a level where I need to be to take that next step, tell me what I need to do to get to that level so I can get better and get ready for that next step. And that never came. So I said, all right. I know my buddy started working for this tech company. It was called Presidio. I don't know if working in tech, if you know who they are. But they're a global tech company. My buddy started working there. He said, I think with your sales experience, you'd be a great fit here. It was remote. So at the time I was like, this sounds fake. No one ever makes good money working from home. I don't understand it. And then I got an offer from them for a good enough base salary to where I was willing to take the risk. And I went back to my boss and said, look, I don't want to leave, but I don't feel like I'm being given a choice. It was, at the time, it was the environment and then also the pay. So I was like, this is what I'm being offered. I'm probably going to take it because I know that you can't match that offer, and I don't expect you to. I would love it if you did, but I know you can't, and I know you won't. So I'm officially putting in my notice.
Wow.
And I went there for just under 2 years. I ran into the same situation with the leadership, same toxic leadership, and so much so to the point where HR was brought into it, and I I had to call him out in front of the HR department and said, I don't have a problem with the job. My problem is working for you. I can't work for you because of your toxic leader. And that's it's so much so, like, and this is, I hope people are listening, that if you're working at a job and you feel like every time you try to be honest and say something to your leader that they're going to just step on your neck, then that is not an environment that you should want to or that you should be in.
Yep.
It's a very toxic leadership environment, and that's what I was dealing with every time and this was, I'm the kind of person where I have a filter, but I also know when not to have one, and I know how to say things the right way in front of a room. So if we're in a group meeting and I have a problem with something you say, I'm not going to come out and say, hey, you're being an asshole. That's not right. I will allude to something if I don't do that, we'll have a one-on-one conversation after the meeting. Closed door policy. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking, because from my perspective, if I don't speak my mind, or if I don't bring something up to my leader, it's going to bug me all day, and then I can't perform the way I need to. I need to just get it out and get it over with. And I told the leadership that when I was working there, and they had no problem with it. They said, we need somebody that's willing to speak up when things don't seem right, because if we don't know there's a problem, then we don't think there is one. And every time I did that, my neck got stepped on. So it got to the point where I called them out in front of HR for it. And
Wow.
And by that time, I still had a lot of great connections in the car industry. And there was a store that really wanted me there. I had never worked. I'm now at a Honda dealership. I've never worked at a Honda dealership. They sell a lot of cars. They make good money. And the environment over there is way less toxic, which you hear car sales and most people think it's all toxic all the time. But the leadership there, they really wanted me there. They knew the experience. They knew, what I had to offer. And they said, we're going to have you come back as a salesperson, but we think within a month or two, you'll get back to an assistant management position. And a month later, I was back as an assistant sales manager.
Wow. What a story right there, guys. What I want y'all to take away from that is, you see how Dylan bet on himself at one point in that story. He said that he knew that it wasn't going to match what he was looking for, so he said he got to go. And now, look at him now. He is in a better position. He is at a better job. He's more happy mentally. He's more happy physically. And he's doing great for himself. So the moral of that story I want y'all to take from it is, always bet on yourself. If you know that situation is not for you, and you know that you deserve better than your current situation that you're at, go get it. You won't regret it at the end of the day. Don't be 5 years down the line saying, I wish I left this job 4 years ago, when I had a chance. Then you start making yourself feel depressed because you're at a job that you don't like. I always tell people, you have to work unless you do OnlyFans or whatever, those things, you sell yourself. At least enjoy what you're doing. Whether that be, OnlyFans, YouTube.
Even if it is on there,
yeah. Even though you're selling you're naked, you're still enjoying what you're doing.
And if
But
you're not enjoying, at least get that bag. You know.
yeah, I mean, look, at least get the bag. You know, you don't got nobody you talking to, and nobody, or you with somebody, and they don't care you do porn. You get your bag, bro. So I mean, I can't. What Tupac said, I am mad at you. I can't be mad at you. You're getting paid. So,
Exactly.
so, but just enjoy what you're doing. So for the young people that's coming up, you know, just enjoy whatever you want to do in life, and never not listen to somebody say that you can't do that. You absolutely can do whatever you want to do in life to make yourself succeed at whatever you want to do. Because like you heard in this interview, everybody has different standards of how they see their life going and what makes them happy. Dylan's an introvert. I know a couple introverts. So certain things that introverts like, extroverts don't. So they have a different stance on where they want to be at in life. So that's the beauty of, you know, being a human. Yeah, everybody's different. Not everybody's on the same robotic path. Which I'm certainly glad. Thank goodness, because I can't imagine everybody being the same person. That would be one of the most boring thing ever.
And
but,
be okay with your differences too. You know, don't, especially, you know, you'll see in the social media world, there's a lot of toxicity out there. When you know, really, especially in the wrestling community, man, like we at the end of the day, we all have the same love for the game. We just have different opinions, and that's okay. That doesn't make either one wrong. It just means you're different.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
And Gresh put this out there, you know, have fun. You know, a lot of people, they be doing stuff and they're not enjoying what they're doing. That's sad. Like, I never want to get to a point where I'm doing something that I don't enjoy. Yes, there's going to be great days, there's going to be bad days, but at the end of the day, I'm still passionate and I'm enjoying the process. You know, I'm not saying every day is going to be great, but you should at least say, okay, I'm going to make sure tomorrow's better, because you love what you do. I know so many people that don't love what they do and they're miserable, and then they come to social media and try to make other people miserable. It's not how it works. I'm a social media manager. I see it every single day. I go through certain people's timelines, and you can figure out who's miserable and who's not. Let's go look at their tweets. Go look at their Instagram posts. Look at their stories. You can see who's miserable and who actually is having a happy life behind the scenes. Because most of that stuff you see on there is, you know, the happy parts. They don't talk about, I got to replace my hot water heater, or my car went out last week. Because that happens to most people every day. That ain't on social media though. If the person put that there, then that means, you know, everything they put out there is real. Pay attention to that, y'all. Next time y'all scroll, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I don't have anything else for you, Dylan. Thank you so much again for coming on the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. One last thing. Tell the people where they can find you on social media if they want to follow you, and tell them about both of your channels, and I'll make sure I have all those links in the description and in the pinned comment so everybody can go subscribe to you.
Yeah. I mean, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest social media person, but there is one social media that I did save myself for that exact reason of being in a community, and that is on Twitter. You can follow me at Dylan Tulin. Most people get the spelling wrong, but that's okay, because my man's Cole's going to put that right in the description of the video. And
yes, I will.
And luckily, when you know once you know how to spell my first and last name, you can find me everywhere. So that's exactly how you can find me on YouTube, is at Dylan Tulin. And then if you aren't a fan of wrestling content, but you like Call of Duty content or other gameplay, you can find me on my second channel at Dylan Tulin 2.0. And I think that is just about it. I also have a Discord, but I don't know that one very well.
I will link his Discord for you guys. He does have Discord where you can get updates on everything for his universe mode, and even get updates when he goes live on his second channel. He makes sure he puts that in the announcement channel. If that is something that you guys are interested in, please go check out his Discord server. Get those members up. Looking forward to his SummerSlam. He's working on that. That should be out soon. He's got a couple other things that he's doing on the second channel as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content whenever y'all go check him out. But that is it for this interview. I don't have nothing else for Dylan. It was a great conversation. Thank you so much for joining me, Dylan. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe down below to my channel if you're from Dylan channel, and subscribe to Dylan if you're not subscribed to him already and you're watching this. I've been your host, Coletrain. This has been the Train Talks podcast, Coletrain interviews. And I will see you guys in the next interview. Remember to be glorious at every single thing you guys do, and be phenomenal or be forgotten. Dylan, you got a little outro?
Not that good. Thank you. Thank you to Cole for having me. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and definitely would love to do this again sometime. Can't wait to have you on the commentary team for SummerSlam.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to calling that match. I'm really excited about that.
Great one versus the Icon. Let's go.
Absolutely. I do have another podcast segment that's called the Video Game Roundtable, where we do talk about different games and stuff like that. I announced that like this week, so we can potentially get on there if you do get Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or whatever game that you play outside of WWE. Just let me know, and I can get you on there, and we can talk about, basically like review the entire game, talk about whatever you want to talk about for that game. So just let me know.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That's our new series that we have. And I can put it out in the masses here on the YouTube that we're starting that series off this month. Me and two other people will be reviewing the most recent college football game. There's going to be an audio version of that and a video, so you guys are going to get the best of both worlds. If you don't want to see me and the other people's faces, you can play it in your car on your way to work, or if you're getting those kids in the afternoon, in a car ride line, you can play it too. Listen to us talk about college football for maybe an hour. I don't know how long it's going to be, but up to you. So that I'm looking forward to that. We'll definitely have Dylan on that series, and thank y'all again, and I will see you guys in our next interview. Our next interview will be NR23. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'll see you guys in that interview. Peace out, y'all.